This is Sports Matters with Jerry Coughlan.
It's so retro.
We cover all the biggest sports on the planet. MMA, boxing, snooker, football, darts, you name it, and we cover it. Check out all the latest interviews with Jerry and the Stairs weekly on Sports Matters.
Now listen up.
It's time!
Check out www.twitter.com/sportsmatters and check out Jerry's Facebook and Twitter page at Jerry Coughlan. That's Sports Matters. That's Sports Matters. Live to everyone across the world.
The real deal, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God! It's ended! The European Cup is returning to England and to Anfield. Liverpool are champions of Europe again.
We also focus on local Irish talent, from MMA fighters to boxers to darts players and up-and-coming football and hurling players. Sport Matters provides a platform for you to hear the interviews you want to hear. So check out Sports Matters on Jerry's Facebook page, also on Mixcloud, Sports Matters. You want to hear an interview? Well, we'll make sure it happens at Sports Matters with Jerry Coughlan.
So welcome to Sports Matters with me, Jerry Coughlan. I'm joined by Olympic gold medalist Michael Carruth. Hello, Michael. How's things with you today?
I'm good, Jay. How are you, pal? Not too bad.
I'm good, man. I'm good. You're quite busy at the moment. You're training all the future champions, I take it.
Well, at my club I am, yeah. So we train here. We have to do a double training session tonight. Well, most nights because we have a huge amount of kids here in doing the boxing club. So it's all hands on deck, so to speak.
It's great to see it, and it's people like yourself that inspire that first day. Because, like, as I said, it's people starting off at the age of 9, 10, 11, and then they go on, and fingers crossed they represent Ireland.
Absolutely. Well, that's how it works. Like it was done for all of us. I'm saying, like Paul Griffin was here tonight, who was a former European champion, and myself from being a former Olympic champion. So, it was done for us in that regard. So we're putting a little bit back ourselves. So, and it's like that in every boxing club throughout the country. Some great volunteers and obviously, unsung heroes who help obviously that. And it's not for us to get any kind of accolades. It's for the kids that we're teaching to win All Irelands, to win Leinsters, eventually to win nationals, and then obviously go on to international status and go on between European, world and Olympic success. And it's gone great for us this weekend so far.
It's great to hear it. Now, just talking about yourself and back to when it first started for you, what age did you start boxing? Was it the age of 10, 11?
I started boxing at around 7, 8 years old. I went to Green Hills Boxing Club, and I had my first bout when I was about 8 years old, and that has changed over the years now because you're not now allowed technically box now till you're 11 years old, So, but back in the day, you got fights and that was it, and then obviously then you had to go get your card, and it's all done by that way as well. So that's the way it works now, So it's as I said back a long time ago, it was it's all changed obviously. So.
Good stuff. And just tell us about your first Olympics, 1988. That was the year I was born. So I was on
thanks for showing me age, Jeff. Yeah, it was just one of those things. I got it wrong. You know what I mean? I got my weight wrong, and I was dehydrated. I was making a weight 60 kg, which is lightweight, 9.6 for people who don't understand the kilo allowance, and I just got it wrong. I should have probably, in hindsight, I should have moved up to 63 and a half it was at the time, and I didn't. So I got it wrong, and it was probably the best mistake I've ever made, because obviously then going into the next Olympics, I got it right. I had my weight right, and I had everything done, and I obviously went down and obviously won the gold medal. So
you're the first ever Irish boxer to do that. I actually remember I was in the UK at the time because my mum and dad were working there, and obviously all the family were from Ireland, Cork, but obviously times were tough back then. They moved to Ireland, but they moved to England. But I actually remember my dad having the Olympics on, and I remember him jumping around the front room when he won that gold medal. Like, so it must have been a serious feeling because you worked so hard for that. And you know, there were stories. I remember my granddad telling me stories that in Ireland they actually had all the pubs. They slashed all of the price of the pints to half price. Just for your
well, even better now. Some of the pubs, and particularly where I'm from, they went. See, the last medal won that before me in relation to gold was 1956 was Ronnie Delane back in Melbourne, 1956. So whatever the points cost back in 1956, they reverted back to 1992 price. So it was 8 pence a point in my local, which was the Laurels and the Traders and a few other pubs in there up around the Green Hills Walking Sound area. So I was probably at fault for more hangovers that day as well than anybody else as well, because you could get 8 or 10 points for a count. It wasn't bad, was it? You know, so I'm sure they all available in Green Hills. It was obviously, you know, it was a super occasion, and you know, to win the gold medal, and it was the first time, and as you said, since 1956 for a gold medal to be won, and then it was our first boxing medal ever to be won as a boxing gold medal, and yeah, listen, it was things of fairy tales and dreams came true that day, you know, and that was it.
It was well deserved, as I said, all the hard work. And you were actually in the army at the time, weren't you?
I was a corporal in the Irish Army at the time, so I just kind of, a year or two previous, I'd been promoted to corporal, and then winning the Olympic Games, then I got an instant, I got promoted straight away to sergeant, you know, so, you know, it was at the time I didn't really want it, because, you know, it was the time when people were waiting long times for it to be promoted, and I didn't go to the Olympic Games to be Sergeant Michael Carruth. I went to the Olympic Games to have title Michael Carruth Olympic champion, and there was a few disgruntled people within the ranks, and more so some disgruntled wives of other people, but it wasn't my fault. I couldn't do anything about it, so it was just one of those things. And you know, I suppose it was a typical Irish thing. You know, love you when you're winning, but then when you get up on top, then they want you down. So it was one of those type of things. But listen, you know, as I said, I went to the Olympic Games to fulfill my dream, and my dream was since I was 8 years old, since I got my first pair of gloves, since I put my first pair of gloves on, was to win the Olympic Games. And
you went
it was a nice thing I done.
You paved the way. And just a quick mention of you went professional after, I think it was 2 years after the Olympics, wasn't it? 94.
Well, 94, yeah, when I turned pro, and then I 20, what many fights? I think I had 23 fights or something. 121, so it wasn't a bad record, you know what I mean? But I think, you know, what was happening with my pro life was that I was getting pushed over because Frank Warren wasn't giving me the fights I wanted, and I was on the cards all the time, and I got very displacent about it, and I'd lost my reason for boxing, and so the bottom line is the pro, you know, it was okay for what I got out of it myself. You know, I got a good contract out of it, and as you say, made a few quid, and then I got out, and now I'm back coaching now at General Boxing Club. I'm head coach here. I work as a development officer for the Irish Amateur Boxing Association in conjunction with Dublin City Council. So I'm teaching young kids every day how to box. So it's not a bad job in that regard.
No, that's what it's all about. And just a quick mention of the younger kids. What advice can we give to them? All the lads trying to
what advice is work pays off every time. You know, if you have talent and you don't work, it's wasted. So, you know, the bottom line is you have to work, you have to be fit, you have to be dedicated to the sport. You know, boxing is a sport. It has to be a one and only sport. You know, you can't have 2 and 3 other sports. It's one of those, you have to be selfish to other people in relation to what you have to do to become a champion. You have to make sure that you're sitting in on nights where, you know, maybe your girlfriend or wife or partner wants you to go for a drink or out in the town, when you just have to say, no, I can't do that. I'm being disciplined. I have to get to bed early and train hard and fight easy.
That's the best information you can get. And I know you're in Cork soon. I know Paul Buttimer, Butsy, the legend, was on to you about coming down for a white collar event.
He's persuading me to come down. You know, so. And will you let me know that my gold medal is in the Crow Park at the moment, so I won't be bringing my gold medal to Cork, tell him, okay? It's in Crow Park, the museum in Crow Park for the next couple of months, you know, so I'll give him a text and tell him, yeah.
Something tells me, Butsy, he'll be on to you about that medal, I'd say.
I'll say you will, but listen, you know, you don't need a medal, you have the champion. You know, so that's all you need. You know,
that's all that matters.
So.
I'll see you in Cork anyway, my man. It's an absolute honour speaking to you. Thanks for taking the time.
Pleasure. No problem, Top. Take care.
Michael, we'll see you soon. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Bye.